So yesterday I got an MRI on my right shoulder along with an arthrogram, and it was nothing like I expected it to be. Real quick, if you want more content related to chiropractic care or healthcare, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Please like and comment on this video, and I really appreciate your support. Dr. Griffin here with Mellow Motion Chiropractic. So this video is for anyone who might be getting that procedure done and wants to know what to expect. I watched many videos on YouTube leading up to the procedure, and none of them really matched up to what I experienced, so this is just from my point of view. I've been having shoulder pain in both my shoulders for about 15 years now. I have a history of being a gymnast, a tumbler, weightlifting, sports, and just being a chiropractor. We put our shoulders in a lot of compromising positions to perform adjustments, and it's important that I have healthy shoulders so I can perform adjustments for many years to come. So I wanted to get them checked out, make sure everything was good. Went to an orthopedic doctor. He performed x-rays on both shoulders and didn't see anything. He did some orthopedic tests, which kind of concluded that it could be a labral issue in both my shoulders. And the only solution for that is to do some more imaging. He also offered to give me steroid injections, which I declined because steroid injections increase degeneration in joints, or help, like, they speed up the degeneration in joints. So you really want to avoid them, especially because they typically don't work after the first injection. They require multiple rounds over months. And once your joint is really degenerated, the only option after that is to basically have surgery to get an artificial joint. And you just want to avoid all of that. So we discuss the MRI and arthrogram process. He tells me they're going to inject my right arm with some dye and it's going to hurt, and then I need to take off work the rest of the day because I'm going to be in pain. And I wish he didn't tell me that, because I just don't think that was necessary. He could have explained what happened and maybe said it would be a little uncomfortable, something like that, but not for me to expect it to be in a lot of pain. So immediately, and for the last month, I've been freaking out because I hate pain. So I'm a chiropractor. I want to stop pain. And so that just scared me. So I watched a lot of videos on what to expect. And pretty much everyone actually that I watched did get local anesthetic injected to the area before they had the injection. So that made me think that it probably is going to really hurt if you have to numb it just to get the injection. So a month goes by of just me getting more and more anxious, and I'm not even scared of injections or needles or anything like that. I not scared of surgery. I had surgery this summer and was scared because it was my first surgery, but actually, weirdly enough, ended up enjoying it. So the doctor kind of just made me scared for nothing. We get to the imaging center at the hospital. I go back, lay on this table. Like 10 people come in the room. I don't know why there were so many people. It kind of just made me feel like, is this a lot more serious than I think? Like, it really started scaring me even more. My friend came with me for support. They let him come in and watch. Basically, they take an x-ray of your shoulder, and then they place some stuff on it and take another x-ray to kind of make sure they're in the right position to give the injection, because they're going all the way through the muscle, all the way into the joint capsule. Two doctors come in. One's like showing another doctor what to do because I guess she's learning, which kind of made me a little more nervous. And they get everything ready. They wipe me down with iodine, place a sheet over me, or this like drape or something with a hole in it. I'm looking away. I don't want to know what's going on because I feel like there's probably this giant needle just waiting to go into my shoulder. And then he says, okay, well, we're going to give the injection when Dr. Blah, blah, blah comes in and checks everything. So now I'm like, okay, so he's not the main doctor in charge. He must be learning too. So I got even more nervous. So the doctor comes in, tells him to kind of reposition some stuff, and then that he's ready. And then I start freaking out because all the videos I've seen, everyone else has gotten some anesthesia injected into their shoulder, and I'm not getting anything. So this is really going to hurt. But I don't say anything. I just freak out, and all the nurses in there are like trying to entertain me because I'm so scared. And it was my birthday, so they, I guess, just wanted to comfort me, and I guess they were doing a good job, but I was scared. Um, So he starts to do the injection. He kind of goes and then he goes some more, and then the main doctor's like, you got to make sure that do you feel the bone yet? And I'm like, whoa, I thought you were supposed to avoid hitting the bone, because that's gonna hurt. But then he did hit the bone, and when it went in at first, I didn't feel anything at all. When it hit the bone, I felt like a little nauseous kind of feeling, but it didn't hurt. Like it was totally fine, like nothing. But it just felt weird. And then he started the injection, and it was just some cold sensation. Like getting an IV didn't hurt at all. And so I felt stupid. And while it was happening, the nurses were like, "It's okay, you're doing great." And I thought they were talking to me. Well, come to find out, my friend was telling me the doctor giving me the injection was like shaking in fear because he was so scared doing the injection. I guess this was like one of his first times to do it. And I thought they were talking to me. So I was like thanking them. So that was kind of embarrassing because they just weren't even talking to me. Anyways, that's done. They take another X-ray to make sure the dye's in the right spot, which it was, and then they use that X-ray to send it to get read, and then they send me upstairs to get the MRI. So I thought the hard part was over, and I was so wrong. I've never had an MRI before, and they asked me lots of questions before about if I was claustrophobic, and I I'm a little claustrophobic because like sometimes when I'm in flights where it's those really small planes that's going to a bigger airport, I get freaked out for a second sometimes, just thinking like there's no way out of here because I'm up in the air. And then I did have one bad experience at Disney World at Epcot riding Mission Space. I hadn't ridden it since I was a little kid, and I used to ride it all the time. But as an adult, I rode it, and when they shut the door, I started freaking out because you're in this really like tight space, and then the ride didn't start for a few minutes because I guess someone threw up. So I started really freaking out, and my friends started freaking out, but neither of us told each other anything because we knew if we said something, we'd really freak out. And that was just like a horrible experience and made me think, okay, or ever since then is when I've kind of had the fear of maybe I am claustrophobic. But I said I wasn't, and I let them go and take me into the MRI room. They strapped me down, but it was like in a way where I could still totally move. Like it was fine. Like it wasn't like a straight jacket or anything. Um, and they put some headphones on. They gave me some music. I didn't really know what it was. Didn't really care. I just didn't. I don't like loud noises, so I'm glad I had that on because the machine is loud. Um, then the second I start. Oh, and they gave me this thing to put in my hand to squeeze if I needed them. They needed their attention or needed to stop or some kind of emergency. And then I start rolling back, and the tube, it looks when you're walking in and you see it, it looks kind of big. Like, okay, I'm fine. Well, I didn't think about the fact that like the table is like laying like halfway up between the tube, so you're in the top half of the tube when you get pushed back. And my arms were like this, like I was touching both sides. I have kind of wide shoulders, and they told me to keep my eyes closed and just melt into the table and just fall asleep if I can even. So I go back, and then a few seconds in, I make the mistake of opening my eyes, and I look up, and the tube is like right here in my face, like right there, and I can't see below me, and I can't see above me, and I don't want to move because I don't want to mess up my positioning. And I just start freaking out, and I'm about to squeeze that emergency thing they gave me, but I'm like, no, I can do this. I'm fine. Like nothing bad is gonna happen. I just try to calm myself down. So I get back all the way in, and I just lay and wait for a minute, and then I start hearing these sounds, and they take multiple rounds of imaging, and it just makes all these loud clanking sounds, and I mean, the air 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 earbuds whatever help a lot, so you hear it, but it's not loud. Um, and I just try to keep my eyes closed and just try to pretend like I'm not in this really tight space. And then it starts getting really warm, like almost as warm as a sauna, but not that hot. And I just start sweating. And then, like in during one of the images, I swear the guy told me to slow down my breathing because when you breathe too much, apparently it'll make your shoulder move and just mess with the imaging. So now I'm sweating hot, stuffed in this little tube, freaking out, and trying to take really shallow breaths so that I don't move. And it was absolutely horrible. Um, I thought it was never going to end. And finally, like 6 songs in, I was judging the time based off of the songs playing because that's the only way I could figure out how much time it was. He finally says, "Okay, we're done. I'm going to send the images to the doctor to make sure that they came out correctly, and then we'll take you out." And I'm like, crap, no, like, take me out now because I'm freaking out. But I just didn't say anything. I just didn't want to make this take any longer than it needed to. And it was really only like 20 minutes. But and after he tells me that, I look back behind me and I realize that the tube is like shut off. Like there's no way out that way. The only way out is back the other way. So that made me even more claustrophobic. And I couldn't see out that bottom way because I had this pad under my knees for comfort. So like it just made me freak out. And I do not want to experience that again. And finally, I was able to get out, and it felt like an eternity, but it was only like 20 minutes. And I felt like I was going to pass out when I stood up. It was so bad. And I went, finally got to leave. I immediately changed and was ready to go out to my car and cry because I know y'all was probably thinking I'm dramatic, but like that was one of the worst experiences of my life. I didn't realize I was that claustrophobic. And so, anyways, my warning to you is if you think that you could be claustrophobic, tell them because they can give you medication to calm you down, or you can have the option to have an open air MRI. And if you are a bigger person, I recommend that because that tube is really small. Like I'm only 5'7", so I'm like kind of wide, but like not super big. I mean, I guess I don't know, but that was really tight for me. So anyone bigger than me, I don't know how you could do that. So if you're getting an MRI done, just know that if you're getting contrast, getting the injection, it is no big deal. It's super easy. Don't be scared about that. But if you might be claustrophobic, let your doctor know. So hopefully they can get you an open air MRI because I do not recommend that. If you've watched this long, thanks for watching. I hope you gain some knowledge on what to expect. If you have any questions, please comment. I will respond. If you have any videos that you'd like me to make or any questions about anything chiropractic related that you want me to talk about, please let me know because I would love to make more videos. Please subscribe to my channel and continue liking, commenting, watching my videos. I really appreciate the support. And anyways, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for listening.